Welcome everyone to the Real Whovians Cast, episode 482. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm with George. What's up, George?
Hello.
What's up, Trey?
Hi, hi.
All right. So basically, a lot of stuff is unfolding with the past 2 days. We have Peter Capaldi, who I believed was going to possibly leave because he was complaining about the schedule. I thought he was going to leave Series 9, but it looks like he's going to stay for the duration, I guess, for, I would say, Series 10 so far he's signed, okay? Which is a good thing, I think. But this does change everything because if he is, which he definitely is staying for Series 10, then that means that we could see a lot of new things. The redesigned Tardis. We could see a new sonic screwdriver, a whole bunch of options available. So what do you think, Trey? How soon before we see a new TARDIS?
Well, I don't know how close they are to beginning filming season 9 as yet.
Right.
So it'd be nice to see it then. I like his idea of going back, since his doctor is definitely sort of old school, and the way he dresses and everything, and the way he kind of channels past classic doctors. I like the idea of going back to the circles, kind of making it as sort of a minimalist, look. Still being as large as it is.
Right.
Not going back to the like compact, control or console room.
Okay.
But yeah, I would like to see kind of a throwback. If they're doing a throwback Doctor, why not do a throwback TARDIS? But Series 10, probably not before Series 10. I mean, it'd be nice. I mean, I don't think it'd be hard for them to quickly redesign. I mean, look at they redesigned the TARDIS in the middle of Matt Smith's last season.
Right.
So we can get
we could get it for Series 9, I think. I think with Series 9 we can get it. Yeah.
Right. I don't see why not. I mean, you can do a decent design, and it just has to be functional looking, obviously. So I mean, that stuff can happen really quick, I think.
They could work into the storyline where the TARDIS gets wrecked. Like
Right.
maybe a villain gets in the TARDIS, starts shooting up everything, and then he decides, you know what? Why don't I just do my own thing and redesign it totally the way I want to do it, and just and then that's how it changes, not just because of, there could be a storyline connected to the changing of the TARDIS. What do you think, George?
I'd like a new TARDIS in Series 9. In fact, I'd like one as soon as possible. But as well as Peter Capaldi signing up for Series 10, there's also been news out that budget cuts at the BBC. There's really, really low budgets on some of the episodes, so I don't think they could afford to get a new TARDIS, which is kind of a shame. But
I don't think
good.
there's going to be budget cuts because he proved himself, and I think that they'll give them the budget they need. Because when you start with a new doctor, they're not going to give you the budget like they had. And Matt Smith, as time went on, they got more and more money to do things. So I think that the budget's going to be magnified. It might have been scaled back last year. This year, but I think the budget's going to be magnified this year coming up in 2015, and I think that we may see, they may do that where like when they used to have the Cybermen go in the control room and start shooting everything up, they could be doing something and they use that as an excuse to redo the TARDIS inside. But I also think we'll see Missy's TARDIS, I think, because he mentioned it.
Oh, yeah.
Already. So they are spending money for a TARDIS console, but not necessarily Peter Capaldi's, the 12th Doctor. So there's going to be budget going into that. There's also going to be budget going to probably a new sonic screwdriver, I would say, because you want to give him his own. You don't want him to just use, Matt Smith.
He seems to be fine with from something I read yesterday when he was in the interview or at the panel when he talked about the new TARDIS. He said designing a new I think implied rather. I may have just been inferring, but I think what he implied was that designing a new screwdriver just for the sake of the marketing of it, is something that he disagrees with.
Well, I think we will see a variation of it. I think we'll see a little gold slashed with the the shell, the casing. I think will be different a little bit. I think they will do it because at the end of the day, they are merchandisers too, and they do make money off of sales and stuff. So a new toy for the kids to play with, I think they would definitely go in that direction.
Yeah.
What about you, George?
Yeah, I agree. I think a new Sonic Screwdriver is definitely happening. I'm surprised they didn't do one this year, but they still released a toy, the 12th Doctor Sonic Screwdriver, except it was the exact same as the 11th Doctor's.
Right.
But yeah, I think definitely a new Sonic Screwdriver because it wouldn't cost that much. And I think I might know why they didn't do one this year, probably because they couldn't think of any scenario to replace the Sonic Screwdriver. I
Right.
mean, in the 11th hour, it got zapped. I think it was by Prisoner Zero, or the Doctor was trying to
Right.
Sonic something and then it exploded. But hopefully, yeah, a new Sonic
Well, it got
Screwdriver.
tampered with also when it was left in the room with the gel all over it. So Prisoner
Yeah.
Zero kind of messed it up anyway, so it would explode. But I think that we probably will see the new TARDIS in 2015. I think maybe early on. I think that they are going to do that. Maybe before the episode 6. Um, you know, depending on. Now, also another thing is the anniversary. What are they doing for the anniversary? Are they going to do a special before the series is released? They are filming in January, and I think Sherlock is up in the air now because I'm hearing rumblings he's signed for Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch, and that will delay production of
Hmm.
Sherlock possibly if they do film in January. So, what do you think? Do you think that they're going to be secretly filming an anniversary without pressure because he's announcing there's not going to be one?
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. That's good. And yeah, with what you're in regards to Cumberbatch playing, I think that's definite that he has signed on to play Doctor Strange.
Right.
But as far as having some sort of secret filming, your guess is as good as
Well,
mine.
it's not necessarily secret filming. We know they're filming Series 9 in
Right, right.
January,
In
but we
January,
don't
right.
necessarily know that the first episode would be a special or a
Okay.
episode that's a multi-doctor or something that they could probably do it on a soundstage and keep it under wraps.
Yeah, and that man, and that's I think we talked about that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Is that would be a great thing to do, is do I just thought it was too soon to do another multi-doctor. I mean, even if it was for a special like that, I would want to see that a little farther out than the one we just got because I think it's a bit on the nose. And I think you heard me say something I would like to see, and George, you can probably put in here. I don't know if you've ever thought about this, but it'd be really cool to see a multi-master episode. So you see John Sims come back and see him interact with Missy.
Right.
Yeah.
Something like I think that would be pretty brilliant actually. So
You take George.
Yeah, I definitely like that idea. The John Sim and Missy meeting. I think that would be make a good episode. I'm not sure about the anniversary special, but I think there will definitely be nods towards the fact that it's been 10 years of new Doctor Who. I mean, there will definitely be something. They will do something for it. They'll post on the BBC site of Doctor Who saying that it's 10 years of the new Doctor Who, and they might do a special. And at least they'll definitely do some nod backs towards the first episode.
I think that the anniversary special won't be considered a 10th anniversary special, a special in general, even though because they want to be politically correct, I guess. But the way I see it, and you could tell me when the time comes if I'm wrong, but I think it's going to be a direct sequel to Day of the Doctor. I think
mm,
that after the Christmas special, he's going to get fed up that he don't know what Gallifrey is, and he's going to flat out go back in time to where they're all getting the coordinates for Gallifrey, and he is seen in the Day of the Doctor in that part. Now, the final equation was Matt Smith, the 11th Doctor, had the final equation, so his presence there is strictly not to calculate saving them, but to go in after them and
mm,
find them. So they got their final calculations with all 11 doctors as well as the war doctor. So his presence there is strictly to just go through it right to Gallifrey where they went so he could find their location. And I think that's the whole point. I think that what will happen is he'll find out where they are, and then all of a sudden what they could do is, he could get like a knock on the TARDIS door, and there is Peter Davison or Matt Smith, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I don't remember this. Like, what's going on?" It could be like a whole thing. They could do it like a joke thing, and you're like, "Who are you?" Like, I'm the last incarnation. All these different things, and they could have fun with that, or they could
Sure.
he could see John Sim regenerate into Missy and Gallifrey. They could be like, adventures we've never seen. I mean, just because they're time travelers doesn't mean they have to meet in order. So, I mean, River Song, he meets out of order. So
Right.
why not the Master? I mean, it doesn't have to be where that Master is that Master's doctor, So I think that we could see that. We could see, I have a feeling that the Master just totally took over Gallifrey and probably just did something to the Time Lords where they just controlled, or he regenerated him to go to something, or something funny where he just has dominion over the whole Gallifrey, or maybe he did something to them, or he suspended them or something. But I think that maybe Rassilon interfered with the Master, making him regenerate into a woman, and then he became that much more powerful as a punishment. I don't know, but I do think that the Master has dominion over Gallifrey completely. And I think that there was others that the Master let loose as a thank you to mess with the Doctor, a select few. Could be the Meddling Monk, it could be Celestial Toymaker, it could have been, the Ronnie, it could have been a few, just to mess with him, while he sets up his master plan. What do you think?
I think, I mean, yeah, it's possible. I mean, there's more going on than meets the eye, definitely. And I think really to address that, something that would be cool to see is almost a. You don't see this in Doctor Who, really. You've only seen a couple episodes, I think. Really, only one episode since the first 10-year. I mean, since this came back in 2005, and that was Blink, where the Doctor had very little to do with the episode, and as far as his physical presence being there.
Dr. Light, yeah.
Right,
Dr. Light.
but it would be cool to see kind of an episode of like Missy and that whole thing leading up to the regeneration, so that we can get some backstory. Because you can always do flashbacks, but it'd be kind of cool to see a standalone. Almost just one standalone episode.
So in other words, a Dr. Light episode where the whole episode is about the Master Missy, and the Doctor appears briefly. That is a great idea, Troy.
I don't see why not.
I would look forward to that. What about you, George?
I think that the Master is a good character, and I think it would be a good idea, but there's still a lot of plot holes. I mean, after the end of time, we have to find out how he regenerates into Missy. Does he have a TARDIS?
Well, he definitely has a TARDIS. Well, she has a TARDIS.
Is he related in any way to Gallifrey? Like, does he have connections? Is he lying? Does he actually know the coordinates for Gallifrey? Or does she now?
She absolutely knows.
There's a lot of plot holes at the moment, but I think they'll definitely be filled in Series 9.
Yeah.
She absolutely knows what Gallifrey is.
Yeah, and I don't think she's dead. I mean, I've been so busy and just haven't been paying attention to threads and all that stuff lately. But I mean, I'm pretty sure the consensus is that Missy is in no way, shape, or form dead. So she's out there somewhere doing something and plotting.
Yeah, she'll be back. I think in Series 9 she'll be back. I don't know when, whether it's the first episode or the last episode, but she's definitely going to make an appearance somewhere in Series 9.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Speaking of, hey, have you guys been watching Constantine at all?
I've heard of it. I saw it online. I haven't seen it yet though.
Okay. Well, there's some nods to Doctor Who in the show. In this last episode, though, the place where he lives is bigger on the inside, and he has a playing card. A 9 of diamonds playing card that he flips over, and people see like what he needs them to see, like be it like an identification badge or whatever. It was just a cool little quick nod is what I think it was. It was interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of nods to Doctor Who in different shows.
Oh yeah.
The problem with doing podcasts on your phone is that if somebody calls, you get thrown out. So.
Oh right.
Yeah, and it doesn't know how to handle it, so you have to X out of it, come back in. So, what did I miss?
I brought up. Have you been watching Constantine, Joseph?
Not yet. I do want to get a chance to see it, but I've been.
It's so good. It's very good. I mean, Flash, as good as the Flash is, this is, right under there. And I was telling there's like this last episode. I mean, this is not really giving any plot details away or anything, so it's not ruining anything. But there was a nod to Doctor Who. The place where he
Really?
lives is a little cottage that's bigger on the inside, and then
Oh,
he
wow.
uses this playing card that he flips over, and it turns into like the person sees instead of a playing card. An
Oh, cool.
identification badge and everything. So and George was saying, yeah, George, you're right. There's lots of nods to Doctor Who, but this one was more overt than things you normally see. But it was overt in a taste. I think a tasteful
I think
way.
they gave a nod to Doctor Who and Shield, Agents of Shield.
I think I heard about that as well.
Yeah, I didn't get to see the episode.
I think the writers are fans.
Yeah,
of this show.
I think
it's
so.
the same with Grey's Anatomy.
Really, Grey's Anatomy, really.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of nods in there because one of the people in Grey's Anatomy, one of the people in it, is a big fan of Doctor Who, the writer, and whenever he gets to write an episode of Grey's Anatomy, he always brings up Doctor Who in one part. There's literally 15 minutes worth of references from Doctor Who and Grey's Anatomy on YouTube.
Oh wow,
that's pretty cool.
Check that out.
I gotta check that out too.
Yeah.
All right. Besides the Series 9, do you think we will see a spin-off from Doctor Who, a new spin-off next year? Do you think we will see maybe sort of like a Sherlock style of the Paternoster gang, or do you think that will no longer happen?
I'll let you go first, George.
Maybe it'll happen. I hope it does happen. It would definitely. I'm not sure if they'd make it for kids or adults, but I think it's probably going to be a bit like the Sarah Jane Adventures rather than Torchwood. But it'd be definitely cool if there'd be a spin-off. I mean, of a character this year or last year that everyone liked. Like, I would have liked an Osgood spin-off, just a unit spin-off with Kate Stewart and Osgood, but that's way too late because Osgood is dead, or she could come back, but
I think she's
it's
coming
still
back.
not known.
I think that if Sherlock gets off the schedule, they're going to have to fill it with something for 4 episodes or 3 episodes, and I think that would be the perfect opportunity to do a Doctor Who spin-off with the Paternoster gang. But then again, we don't know what the status of Sherlock's going to be yet. We did hear Moffat say, though, that he would leave Doctor Who before he left Sherlock, and that if he could, he would be doing Sherlock forever, basically. But there's going to come a point in time where he will leave Doctor Who first. That I don't think will happen until maybe 2016 or later.
I agree. This is kind of the sooner. I mean, people come down on Moffat. I think he's spread thin. But I think the sooner he leaves Doctor Who, the better.
I think he needs a new perspective. I mean, sometimes you need to do something to refresh your ideas, and I think that subconsciously he took from all the finales and didn't even realize it. And then he's probably watching it, like, as a fan now from his own episode. And he's like, oh, man, I took it from that. Oh, man, I took it from that. Oh, man, I really took it from every single finale. So he needs to, like, go on a vacation or do something where he could just come back with a clear perspective and say, okay, I need to make this fresh. Because keep doing that. It's like, I don't think he meant to do it, but people are going to look at that and say, okay, he's stealing from other people's work, and I want him to just do some things differently. I mean, he could do another thing too, like, he doesn't have to be about Gallifrey. He could do other stuff. I mean, he could do how the Doctor affected a companion's life in a negative way, or something that, they would a little story arc here or there or something, or, looking for a former companion, or, they could bring the human Doctor back with Rose. They could do anything. It doesn't have to be focused on Gallifrey. In fact, I would like it if there was 2 massive storylines going on at the same time, so you wouldn't be distracted with one. George?
Yeah, I mean, I think Stephen Moffat, if I was Stephen Moffat, I'd stay forever, but when the fans have gotten to the point where they don't want to see your writing anymore, and some of the fans just really don't like Stephen Moffat anymore, they think his stories have gotten old, and a lot of the fan base just wants him to leave Doctor Who. When that happens, I think you need to go, so I'm hoping that Stephen Moffat will be gone by Series 10.
Yeah, don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath, though, but yeah, okay. He's staying.
You know, it's not. Speaking of spin-offs, something that would be, I think, interesting to see would be to do a sort of like they're doing with Gotham, and with this prequel to Batman. Is how about doing a? No, that would give it too much away. I mean, the Doctor's supposed to be mysterious, so I guess it wouldn't work. I was gonna say you
How
could
about a
do
Missy spinoff? How about a
a
Missy?
Missy's. I thought,
How about a
and then
Missy
it convert,
six-part mini season?
Or a TV special,
and then it
or a
would
TV
converge with,
movie.
yeah,
Right. It could be
yeah,
like
and
a
it
thing
could
with
it could converge with
Gallifrey,
like an
and
actual show at some point.
you could start it as a Christmas special, and you have Rassilon and all the people from the to End of Time and all these other episodes, and then you could see him punish the Master. You could have John Sim regenerate, and you could have like a whole thing, and it's just, you know, you could explain a lot of different things. Like, maybe that would be
Absolutely.
pretty cool.
Yeah,
I
that
would
thought
like to
occurred
see.
to me.
Yeah,
That would be a great thing to do. And why not? I think John Sim will be up for it.
I think so.
I
Even if it's
mean, I
only
know
for a
he's
little bit, a couple minutes. I mean, he could do it.
right.
Yeah. All right, closing thoughts, guys, because we're going to close it out.
Um,
Anything,
well,
George?
hoping for Doctor Who spin-offs in the next couple of years. I don't know which ones will arrive, but I was hoping for a unit spin-off with Osgood and Kate Stewart, because I definitely think the actress of Osgood would do it, because she said in lots of interviews that she loved doing the part, but it's not going to happen now unless they bring Osgood back, which could very well happen. So I'm hoping for that at the moment.
Yeah, I haven't given much thought to spin-offs, but I agree with George. The most likely one, because I think with the Paternoster gang, it, the Doctor Who is fantastical in its own right, but I would like to see something a bit more grounded, and still having to do with like with aliens and whatnot. But a unit show would be the right direction. I
Right.
personally believe. Besides that, I agree with you that I want to see a new TARDIS, hopefully by Series 9, and like George said, this sooner the better. And it would be nice to see a new Sonic. And I mean, these new things are nice, and you hope the designs are going to be great. And if they
Right.
do a new TARDIS, I really hope they, in a modern way, are able to go back, to a classic look while still, staying, relevant to like modern technology and
Yeah.
whatnot.
I'm
So
hoping that we get to see River Song return, and hopefully we could see new TARDIS, Sea Devils, you know, more Missy, maybe stragglers from Gallifrey. We could see the Meddling Monk. We could see Celestial Toymaker. We could see the return of old companions. I just want something old, something new.
hmm,
I want to lean towards the old. I want to lean towards the older monsters rather than new this time, because there's some new ones created that just didn't take off. I felt, like the caretaker robot, I wasn't crazy about, but I did like the robot from Sherwood. I want to see those guys again. So that's just about it. I just want to see maybe the Ice Wars return, Draconians. Would be pretty cool. All
absolutely.
right, guys, that's it. Take care. Bye for now.
Thank you. Good to know you, George.